Welcome to Oxidizer Safety Training. A specific class of biocides that we work with is oxidizers. A few examples of oxidizers are bleach, peroxide, and stabilized bromine. What makes these products an oxidizer? An oxidizer is a compound that's capable of reacting with and oxidizing other materials. To give you an example, WaterTech had an instance where we got few drops of ferric chloride into a drum of hydrogen peroxide. This caused a reaction which released oxygen from a drum of peroxide. The amount of oxygen generated could not escape quickly enough through the drum openings. The resulting release of oxygen was violent enough to cause the chemical feed pump on top of the tank to shoot up towards the ceiling. It smashed into the fluorescent light and shattered it. The drum itself split in half due to the vapor pressure. That's how much pressure built up in the peroxide drum from a couple of drops of ferric chloride. Another example of oxidation is corrosion. It can be seen on the metal surfaces of many cars. The primary hazard associated with oxidizers is that they act as an oxygen source and stimulate the combustion of organic materials. If you throw a dried rag containing hydrogen peroxide into a dumpster that has wood pallets in it, the dried peroxide on the rag will stimulate combustion of the wood. In another situation, one of our customers got an oxidizer called sodium chloride on his shirt. After drying, the customer tried to wipe it off. The friction of rubbing the shirt caused it to start on fire. There are three necessary components for a fire: oxygen, heat, and fuel. This is commonly referred to as the fire tetrahedron. The presence of any oxidizers in the fire path will act as an oxygen source and accelerate the fire. A few things that oxidizers are going to react with are organics, powdered metals, metal shavings, and acids. It is important to remember that oxidizers are reactive. This emphasizes the importance of safe handling and storage. If there are questions on reactivity, review the SDS of the product in question for more information. Here is a list of common oxidizers. The most common oxidizers that WaterTech sells are hydrogen peroxide acetic acids, such as biocide HS. Nitrites like WaterH 5580 and 5581. Hypochlorites like WaterTech 5213M. Bromine tablets and Stabrome 909. And sodium chloride for chlorine dioxide generation. Chlorine and bromine will be the most common oxidants that WaterTech sells. To properly store oxidizers, they should be segregated from all flammable and combustible materials. An effective means of segregation in the field is the use of double-walled tanks with containment. Store oxidizers in a cool, dry location to reduce off-gassing. Clean up spilled materials immediately and dispose of them separately. Don't throw them out with flammables, and don't store them near incompatibles. Don't dispose of any rags with dried up oxidizers on them or that were used to clean up peracetic acid into a dumpster. If oxidizers come in contact with organics, it could result in a fire. Smoking is prohibited in areas where oxidizers are stored. WaterTech has a no-smoking policy in our customers' facilities. Good housekeeping is essential. One of the common practices when visiting a customer is to always try and leave it cleaner than when you got there. Oxidizers come in gases, liquids, and solids. WaterTech oxidizers consist of solids and liquids. Dry oxidizers like bromicide tablets and dantabrome RW require special feeders. Liquid oxidizers like WaterTech 5213M and Stabrome 909 should have pumps with degassing heads to ensure proper operation. Some solid oxidizer examples are calcium hypochlorite and ammonium nitrate. They come in powders, granules, and tablets. They will react with organics, water, and other oxidizers. When exposed to heat, they form hazardous gas. Calcium hypochlorite is commonly used as a sanitizer or disinfectant in swimming pools. If mixed with acid, it will liberate chlorine gas. Products like WaterTech 5213M and Stabrome 909 are liquid oxidizers. Due to their pH, they are also classified as a corrosive. As a result, one might see the corrosive and the oxidizer symbols, and it just depends on which one is primary. This can be determined from the SDS. Oxidizers are also very reactive with metal shavings, organic materials, and metal powders. Mixing these will result in the immediate release of oxygen. Sodium hypochlorite is a greenish-yellow liquid. It will react with acids and generate chlorine gas. Contact with metals will cause an immediate release of oxygen. Hydrogen peroxide is an odorless, colorless liquid. It can react with sawdust to cause a fire. Don't toss a rag full of peroxide in a dumpster that has wooden pallets or other organics in it. It takes 90 seconds for a leather glove with peroxide on it to burst into flames. As a review, don't store oxidizers next to acids or flammables. Be careful about how oxidizers are cleaned up and dispose of waste in an appropriate container. For cleanup, use lots of water. Don't store biocides right next to drains, if possible. If there is a spill and it gets into the municipal sewer, notify the local wastewater treatment plant.